Cold weather is one of the major problems facing EVs, but there are a few tips to help you out. If you live in an area where winter is particularly harsh and freezing temperatures are common, you may have wondered about how electric cars work in cold weather and if an electric vehicle is the right option for you. Many Scandinavian countries, such as Norway and Sweden, have successfully adopted electric vehicles on a large scale, despite their extremely cold weather. This article will explain how electric cars work in cold weather and what you can do to make the most of your EV even when temperatures drop. How do cold temperatures affect your electric vehicle? Electric vehicles in cold weather are more susceptible to loss of performance and capability than cars with an internal combustion engine. Early models were particularly prone to negative effects of cold climates, such as loss of range and poor performance. One example is the Nissan Leaf. When the Leaf was first launched, it came with a passive battery thermal management system rather than an active one, which meant the car had a harder time controlling battery temperature. Since maintaining battery temperature is essential to the car's performance, early Leafs became known for performing poorly in the cold, losing range and charging slowly in these conditions. Some car manufacturers have started to install heat pumps in their new models to reduce the impact of low temperatures. Heat pumps do not generate their own heat, but rather move hot air where it is needed most. Kia, for example, equipped the EV6 with a heat pump that helps keep the battery warm and provides cabin heat, along with a software update that cuts down charging times in cold weather. Effect of cold weather on battery technology and range. Most EVs lose range in cold temperatures due to the effect on the vehicle's batteries. According to a 2021 study by Consumer Reports, when the temperature drops, so does the car's range. An electric vehicle driving at 70 mph will have about 25% less range in cold weather than in warm weather. This is because in very cold temperatures, the chemical reactions that generate electricity within the battery slow down. The decrease in battery performance results in range loss and ultimately means the vehicle will not be operating at peak performance. Regenerative braking. Most EVs are equipped with a regenerative braking system. This will also be affected by dropping temperatures, sometimes to the point of being unusable, since a cold battery cannot charge as fast as a warm one. Teslas, for example, will limit their regenerative braking system's operation in colder temperatures in order to protect the battery's long-term health. Use of heating and accessories. While in a gas car, residual heat from the engine is used to keep the cabin warm, electric cars have to produce cabin heat independently, since electric motors are much more efficient and produce little to no waste heat. The energy required to heat up the cabin comes from battery power. When driving in cold weather, you are also more likely to use the car's heating system and other power-hungry accessories, such as heated seats and heated steering wheel. This in turn results in a lower range. Cars equipped with the aforementioned heat pumps suffer less in this regard, but they are not widely standardized across the EV industry. How can I maximize EV range when driving in cold weather? There are some steps EV owners can take to counteract the effect of cold climates on their car's performance. Here are a few things you can do when the temperature drops to make the most out of your electric car and maximize your total range. Choosing a car with the highest possible range. If you're going to be driving in freezing temperatures on a regular basis, choose a car with as much range as possible. This will give you a wider margin to work with if the vehicle's battery doesn't function optimally in freezing conditions. Lowering cabin temperature. Instead of using the car's heater to regulate cabin temperatures, keep yourself warm by using the seat warmers and the heated steering wheel, focusing on keeping your body warm rather than the entire cabin. This will help save some driving range without compromising on comfort. Preheating your car. If you have a car that can be programmed to warm up remotely, make the most of your car's preheating capabilities. Some cars even have the ability to schedule regular trips, like a morning commute. If your car is plugged into a charger, these systems will use that power instead of draining the battery to precondition the cabin. Battery preconditioning. EV batteries can be preconditioned when using a DC charger, using their own energy to heat up to the optimum temperature in order to achieve a quicker charging time. Depending on your vehicle, this process may be started by entering a DC charger into the navigation system, or there may be a dedicated button in the vehicle. How are different models of electric car affected by cold weather? The impact of cold weather on a vehicle's range will be different depending on the model and age of the car. According to a study by Recurrent Auto, the Volkswagen ID was the model with the largest 46% difference between ideal range and real-world range in freezing temperatures. The Ford Mustang Mach-E was next in line at 34%. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the Audi e-tron showed the lowest decrease in range, 16%, followed by the Nissan Leaf 23% and the Tesla Model XY3, all three at 24%. The newly facelifted Porsche Taycan may become one of the best performers, with a new thermal management system that allows it to charge as rapidly in cold conditions as it can in ideal conditions. Installing an EV charging station in colder climates. Many EV drivers have chargers installed at home to keep their vehicle's battery charged overnight and ready to go in the morning. If you are thinking about having a charging station installed, there are two main characteristics you will need to keep an eye out for: the charger's level and NEMA rating. EV chargers are categorized into three levels: Level 1 chargers, AC 125, Level 2 AC 245, and Level 3 DC 485. The type of charger you can have installed at home will either be Level 1 or 2. If you live in a cold climate, Level 2 chargers are not just faster, but they are also able to maintain battery temperature when the car is plugged in but not in use. This means when you do turn on the car, the battery has to make less effort to warm up to the correct temperature. NEMA, National Electric Manufacturers Association, sets standards for companies that produce electrical items. A NEMA rating for a home EV charging station tells you which environmental conditions it can safely be used in. A NEMA 4 rated charger will have extensive protection from the elements, such as snow and ice, and function normally between 22 and 1.20 of 30 to 50 below Celsius, but may not work properly in extreme temperatures outside of this range. This makes NEMA 4 rated chargers the most suitable type for EV owners living in cold environments.